Yeah, Georgetown has a new coach and is playing with new life. I think they're sitting 5th in the league right now, which is way above where they were picked, so we're going to need to be ready to go. And then Nova's been up and down. They've had some good wins in the non-con. So both of them run pretty fast tempo, which we've struggled with some, so we're trying to make sure we're prepared for that. And we've had a really good energized week of practice. It's fall break, so we've been able to kind of refocus on some of our goals and expectations, and I've really liked the energy that they've come in with this week.
Questions?
How much easier is that to focus and fine-tune things when you're at home, as opposed to trying to get those done in the middle of the weekend on the road?
Yeah, I mean, we try to obviously start each week with what we have to get better at, and that can be specific to opponents and, perhaps more importantly, specific to how we get better long term. So again, like fall break is such a nice time because, there's so many distractions with academics and life and all those things that, we just demand so much of student athletes that a week like this is nice where really the focus becomes volleyball and they just get a mental rest from the academic grind. Last week is always one of the hardest weeks because we always say like make the volleyball practice your sanctuary because they're grinding, they're taking midterms, they're stressed out, and you can kind of feel it during that week. We try to go short, and it's nice to kind of get them through that push.
Tempo has been tricky for you guys this year. What do Villanova and Georgetown, are they able to do through their tempo that's going to potentially present some challenges for you this weekend?
Well, I think the challenge with fast tempo is you got to get them out of system. It's a high risk, high reward. If they're trying to set something up that they're getting a one-on-one block, and so one-on-one blocking has to be a key that we've worked a lot on trying to find the hitter faster, so we're getting on their shoulder, and then reading behind where that block setup is something that I think we're doing okay, but we need to do a little better.
Last week you said, I don't know if you said when you told the team, but you said DePaul, I think, was the biggest game. Now, was that something because it's natural sports, right? You don't want team A to beat you twice. Is this something you're working on just with this team? You thought it was particularly to go that route, or is it something like you're like, how can you get everybody focused, not just on game A, but on game B as well?
We've talked about that for years, and we talked to the team that DePaul was the biggest match of the weekend because of the RPI implications, obviously. And I say that in the sense of, I know they're going to be up for Marquette, right? Whether we perform or not, we can discuss that, but they're not going to not be emotionally locked in anytime we play Marquette. So as coaches, our job is to make sure they're emotionally locked in to play DePaul. And, it's leadership understanding that. And I thought we did a great job of making sure, hey, against a DePaul team that has one of the best players in the league on it, who we held, I think, below 0. I thought they did a nice job performing on, coming ready to go.
Pre-match footage from Marquette, was in gear and passing. How's she progressing along?
She's continuing to move along and doing well, and, we're optimistic we'll get to see her at some point.
And then Sydney Reisinger was in a blue. How is she doing, and what's her kind of prognosis?
She's got a foot issue. She should return to at some point. We just, we're trying to be precautionary at this point to make sure these guys get healed well so that upon return, we're not going backwards.
What does it say about the resiliency of your team that, when there has been a hiccup, that it doesn't turn into a stretch, that things get corrected quickly and your team's able to refocus?
Yeah, I really like this group. I feel like as adversities kind of hit them at different times, and, we've got other players that are playing injured, and I think every team has that, so I don't say that as any sort of excuse, but I think it does affect things, and I've really liked how this team, you never see it affect them mentally in practice or anything along those lines. I think we still need to I don't think we've hit our rhythm yet, as, just being in this a long time, sometimes when your team is firing all cylinders. We're not there yet. I think we can get them there, but we do have some kind of big areas in my mind. I think they're little things from a fan perspective that could get us 3 or 4 points a game, which would be pretty substantial. But those are the next steps to us being a really good team. And I don't think we're there yet, but I do think we have the possibility to get there.
Schedule-wise, you got Villanova in a 2-week period. How does the schedule work out for you, seeing, facing someone getting the season to end, or then someone
Yeah. I really don't pay that much attention to it. I think we've got the big bucket of like, how do we get better for postseason, right? So we spend some time on what stuff should we be doing regularly to be ready for that. And then we've got the little bucket of what do we have this weekend and how do we prepare for that? And is there things in the gym that we have to do to get ready for Georgetown? Are there things that we have to do to get ready for Villanova this weekend? Once we start second round of the conference cycle, regardless of order, the players have some familiarity. They remember some things, and that can be good and bad based on how the opponent played. But I don't look at it as like I saw someone early in the season, late in the season. I do look at it as more of like, what do we need to do in the short term versus what are some things that maybe we won't be better at this weekend, but we need to start doing it so that hopefully in late November we're doing it well.
And towards down the stretch of that third set against DePaul, Destiny was super clean and efficient. I think 7 kills on 8 swings, no errors. And she was mixing tempo. Did that look like a level jump for her that she was able to play some clean volleyball and mix shots up and find a way to put the ball down?
DePaul really struggled with us, throwing like tips and things like that, and that's something Destiny does well. So I thought she did a nice job of kind of just finding open areas of the court. So that was great to see that, she was clean and, she did produce quite a few kills in that game.
Last question. Preview the pumpkin carving contest for Sunday.
Ooh, yeah, it's a big. Yeah, we have our Boo Jay Bash, so it's actually pretty cool. They're going to set up trick-or-treating all around the concourse for kids. We're encouraging them to wear, and I know as a parent you spend way too much money on costumes, so it's their opportunity to wear it a second time. And yeah, it is a lot of smack talk amongst our team. We put them on teams within their class to I know they don't carve, they usually paint pumpkins, and we'll have a fan vote to see who wins. I always know when they're making the announcement during the game, because in the huddle at the timeout, all of a sudden the eyes go someplace else, and I never hear it, and I'm like, what is going on? And they'll be like, we won, or we got screwed, whatever emotion they're feeling at that time. So.
Anything else?
Yeah, is senior day harder as a parent or as a coach?
Yeah, it was pretty uneventful, honestly. Like, they didn't even bring parents down, so, there wasn't much to senior day last night. So it wasn't hard. Senior day for volleyball is like the end, for us, it's like the end of the season.
Yeah.
Senior day, they still have a month left, so I'm good.
It's your first one, though. It's like,
Yeah, I'm not
almost
going
done.
there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to cut off any emotions on that. It's too hard. So,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.